Hi, everyone, and welcome back to this week's webinar. Today, we're talking about how to capture your audience through IG stories. Let us all know where you're talking from or listening from, actually, not talking from, but where you're listening from today. We also have a special guest. A new face, a newish face. You already been here before, Jesse, but I think that it's the first time that you're presenting a webinar, which is really cool and exciting for everyone here. I'm seeing a lot of people are starting to comment. They're from all over. Super exciting. So obviously we want to introduce ourselves. And since, Jessie is not here all the time, she can obviously start and introduce herself and let us know about you.
Awesome, I will. So I'm Jessie. I'm the growth marketing manager at HeyOrca. And really that means that I'm trying to get all the social media managers out there to use our product. So shout us out in the comments if you are a current user of HeyOrca. But just to answer your question, Kezia, I am from Montreal, which I know you are as well.
Yes, we are from the same city.
Yes.
We live 20 minutes away from each other, not even. So we're pretty close. But hi, everyone. I'm Ketsia, and I'm the social media community manager here at HeyOrca. I do everything social media related. So if you're talking to someone on socials, it's me. I'm going to put the link to my LinkedIn in the chat as well. I also put Jesse's link. So you guys can go ahead and follow us or connect with us on LinkedIn. Also, one thing that we've been loving is how you guys make posts on LinkedIn about the things that you learned about the webinar. Please continue to do that because we'll obviously repost and support and amplify your posts. But we have been loving your posts every single time you put it in our group chat on Slack. So please make sure to make a post if you want to do that. So yes. So before we, get started into the webinar, we always have a question and a giveaway. So one way that we do our giveaways is through our Instagram stories, and that's for everyone to, participate. All you have to do is go to our Instagram, and I'm putting the link right now, and you just have to answer this one question. Are you currently prioritizing IG stories in your social media strategy? The stories already posted on our stories. So make sure to hop over there and answer the question. And then we also have a giveaway for the people who are using HeyOrca. And I want to know what your favorite Instagram feature is. So at the end, we're going to pick our winners and you can win a few Orca coins. We call them Orca coins. I feel like it's the unofficial official name of them. But you can win Orca coins to our merch store, and we have snacks and merch and all that fun stuff. So make sure to participate. Let us know in the comment section. Okay, amazing. Okay, I'm seeing a couple of people are answering already. So I also have something to show you guys, a feature, which is Instagram posting on HeyOrca before we start the presentation. So I'm going to do that real quick and share with you guys my calendar. So I already started a post here on HeyOrca. I just used our drag and drop feature. So you can literally just from your downloads folder, you can just drag and drop it into the calendar. And as you guys can see, we are currently looking for a performance marketer. So if you know a performance marketer or you would like to work at HeyOrca, feel free to do so. Feel free to apply. It would be amazing if you could join our team. But, when scheduling stories, obviously, sometimes you need to put a link in. And one of my favorite features at HeyOrca is literally the publishing notes feature. Usually we use it for audio links, for example, when we schedule reels, but I personally use it to schedule notes and links and all that stuff. So I just post it in here, I press enter, and that's the link to our job post as well. I will put it in the chat as well. So there you go. And then I can just schedule it, approve it and all that stuff. Obviously it's not gonna post. I can't post it because I can't post it today. But that way, I either get a notification or I can use direct publishing as well, which is really cool. I love this feature. Whenever I have to put links, I always use notification publishing because I need to copy and paste the link and add it as a sticker. So I hope you guys enjoy this little tutorial, and hopefully, you consider using HeyOrca to schedule out your stories. But let's get back into the presentation. So I'm just going to share that.
Perfect. Thank you, Katsia. And I did put the link in the comments for those who might be
Amazing.
interested in the performance marketer role. There was a question, do you need to live in Canada? And yes, at this time, you do have to live in Canada, but do follow us because eventually I'm sure we will open up to other parts of the world.
That would be so exciting. Right? So on today's agenda for this presentation, we're going to go over why your brand should use Instagram stories, features to use for engagement, story ideas, and story analytics you need to pay attention to have a successful Instagram story strategy and kind of see, how your posts are performing. So I'm going to pass it over to Jessie, who's going to let us know why your brand should use Instagram stories.
Awesome. All right, so we're going to get into numbers pretty quickly, but I guess I will preface it by saying that Instagram stories just have a really great algorithm attached to them. I'm sure that you've all logged into Instagram and noticed that your first 3 people in the stories are the ones that you follow the most. Maybe it's your friend, maybe your favorite brand, maybe your mom, like for me. So you can just see that Instagram is really prioritizing the accounts that you're interested in. So to back that up with some stats, according to Meta, stories make up 57%, oh my goodness, of US users feel connected to larger communities. I'm going to say that sentence again because I kind of stumbled through it. Stories make 57% of US users feel connected to larger communities. So very exciting, a lot of potential for brands. And then what I think is exciting, because I'm a growth marketer, I want people to come to our website. 50% of Instagram users have visited a brand's website after viewing the brand's story ad, and that is a stat that comes from Instagram. So yeah, super important for people for your users, for your audience, etc., to use Instagram stories. And now I will give you a few features that you can use to really help with that. So yeah, features to use for engagement. Location tags, and in the comments, let us know if you use location tags in your stories right now or not. But basically, they're a way to reach people who may not necessarily follow you, but who are in the area. There's a few tips that I want to go over about location tags. Number 1, if you don't want your location to be seen, but you do want the tag added, you can add it to your story and then just slide it off and it will still appear. This also works for hashtags, by the way. And then tip 2, and this is probably more relevant if you're a creator, but if you are a sole person and not maybe holding an event or something, maybe just wait to post your location until you've left the building, just because, safety first. Okay, so just looking at the comments, and it's kind of a mixed bag of whether people use location or not. Dan,
Yeah, I think.
Oh, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, I think my brother always shows the outside of his apartment complex, and I'm like, aren't you afraid that someone is just going to stalk you? I don't know. Maybe it's just me, but I would never post the outside or show where I am at the day of. Sometimes I post my stories the day after I've already been to the event. I don't even post them the moment of. So please stay safe.
Agreed. All right, so that covers location tags. Next up is polls. This is actually probably my favorite one. And they're actually one of the easiest ways to get your audience to interact with your story. So there are a few ways you can do it. You can get audience feedback. You can learn about their preferences. For instance, if you have a product and you're like, I don't know if I want a pink one or a red one. Seems like a perfect poll opportunity to me. You can do a this or that series. You can do interactive tutorials, pop culture references, interactive storytelling, behind the scenes choices, and we'll have even more examples coming up when we show some screenshots of stories. But I think you get the idea. Polls are so easy. I think you can do up to 4 options right now in polls, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, lots of opportunity there. The tip for you all about polls is make sure your prompt is short, because if you make it very complex, it's just harder for the user to engage and interact with it. And I'm just looking in the comments. I know, Ketsia, we use polls all the time, which I think is very exciting.
We also had a question saying, can you collect the stats from these polls? you can look at the stats of your polls, when you go into the stats feature, because you have like just the ones that have viewed your story, and then you can see the stats and you can see how many people voted, what they voted on, and stuff like that. For example, if you are connected to HeyOrca, it does pull stats from like interactions and replies and stuff to your stories, but I don't think it's as in depth as on Instagram, unfortunately. I hope this answered your question.
Amazing. All right, on to our next feature, which is quiz and questions. And truthfully, these are pretty similar to polls, and I actually like them probably just as much. But yeah, they're a great way to encourage easy audience engagement and interaction. And again, we have a few ideas here on the slide, but there'll be some more that come later. So some easy ideas you can include in your next story. You can do a Q&A or AMA session. That's a very easy one, especially for the questions feature. You can get product or service feedback. You can do interactive challenges. So for instance, if you have a product, you can have maybe a little zoom in on part of it and be like, guess the product, and then have a few options listed. Spot the difference if you've made improvements, or if you just have a fun little design that you want to share. Collaboration opportunities is great. You can do trivia about your product, your service, your niche. So there's a lot of options there. Just looking at the comments again.
Yeah, we have questions, I think, here. But Haley was asking, for their nonprofit clients, they often use links to donation pages. Is it better to use the links feature or the donation feature? To be completely honest, I have never used the donation feature, so I don't know much about it. But if the donation feature is linked to your Instagram, I'm assuming it's linked to like somewhere where you can collect donations. And if you're linking out to other non-for-profits, maybe it won't work as much. But I think that if it's a donation link, just in general, I feel like it's important to disclaim that to people, like, hey, this is a donation link, so that they know what they're getting into. But yeah, again, I don't know if Jesse, you have any other insight on that.
No, I'm in the same boat. I don't think I've ever used the donation link myself. I guess my suggestion, again, as a growth marketer, if the donation information is really on your website, maybe just have a link to your website to a donation page. But if it's just easier, or if it's more concise to do it on Instagram, that opportunity might be better for your business.
Exactly. And then Trinity was asking for collab opportunities. I'm not sure if you guys have that feature, but now you can actually repost stories in like full frame. We obviously don't have it. Like our Hey Orca page just doesn't have any of the Instagram updates, which is annoying. But there's collab opportunities there, right? So I think that's really really cool with Instagram now.
Definitely. And if you don't have that, you can also just put up a question that says, do you want to collaborate with us? And then kind of just take in some ideas from there. So,
yeah.
All right. Moving on to the next feature, the shopping links and the regular links, all the links basically. So if you want to promote a product, if you want to promote an event or a blog post, which is my personal favorite, you can use a link to do so. And this just makes it really easy for your audience to discover your product, your service, and it's easy for them to convert on mobile, which is also great, not too many clicks. Alternatively, you can use links to push users to your website. Like I think something we do quite often now is that if we have a blog post that has a lot of really great resources in it, I believe, Ketsia, please correct me if I'm wrong, but you do link to it in our stories so that they can get the full details there. Awesome. And I think I have one more. Yeah, this is the last one. So for features, DM response. So just creating one-to-one connections by prompting your story viewers to respond to your story is just a really great opportunity. So you can get their ideas on a certain topic, give them a special coupon code. And again, just one-to-one conversations is great. Community is super important, and DMs are a great way to do it. I believe that if there are no other questions, and I don't see any, that covers the features side of things. And now I'll pass it back to Ketsia, who will talk more about some ideas that you can use with the features.
Yes, I'm so excited. And also, I think, I know that we have a stories idea blog. So once I'm done with this section, we're going to send this in the chat so you guys can have, all of this information on hand, but here are a couple of story ideas that you can use. So with Instagram story links, you can, have a collaboration post, right? Like, hey, you want to collaborate with us? Like Jesse said, you can put a link and people can go ahead and click on it. You can link to a product, which if you're a product store, I'm pretty sure you can connect your store as well, which is really cool. You can also have a teaser link. Like if you have any campaign, go ahead and post it on your stories and push people to go to the teaser link, and maybe they can sign up already for the product that you're teasing, which is really cool. And Instagram allows you to see how many people are clicking on that. You can also have a wait list, for any product. For example, you have Duolingo math. Wow, I didn't even know they had that. I'm so confused. I thought it was a different app when I saw it. You can also link to your podcast, another shopping list as well. You can also direct traffic to a blog post. That is something that we do a lot of the times. We just direct you guys to our blog because Lila's putting way too much work into our blogs for you guys not to read them. You can also put links to buy tickets or donate, like the non-for-profits, for example, which is such a cool way to do it. You can also have Instagram quizzes, questions, and polls. So, for example, product feedback. Some of you guys might know, some of you guys might not know, but we have a close friends stories where we post from time to time for our stands, and we usually use it to tease products or give product feedback and stuff like that, which is really, really cool. You can also ask for audience tips, right? I have found that our audience is too busy to answer to stories. I feel like polls just work so much better with social media managers because we're busy people. Like we do go on social media, but we can't just like sit there and just, chat all the time. So depending on your audience, this might or might not work. And then you also can do like, product education or trivia. We do that from time to time too, where we just like have a little quiz on our stories, which I think is such um, a good way to interact with people. I think they just think it's fun. It's super quick. Uh, and then I'm just reading the comments as well to see if there are any questions. But I see Raven was asking, is there a preferred length to stories? We post 3 to 5 daily, as well as 7 to 10 for event coverage. I think you got it covered. I think not more than 10 a day is good because usually Instagram can spam you, like can mark you as a spam if you put too many stories back to back. So I would make sure that I would make sure to not put too many. So I think you are in the right ballpark. Um, do you find a difference in views between posts made in app versus other services? I feel like things I design with text off app tend to get a lower reach. I don't think I notice a difference on Instagram at least. Like I feel like the apps that really lower your reach when it comes to like not posting natively is like TikTok or, yeah, I guess TikTok is the main one. So I haven't noticed a difference, to be honest. Um, I'm sorry, there's like multiple questions, by the way. Is there a good rate of followers versus the amount of weekly stories, like for 50K and 4 posts a week? In terms of stories, I would say post daily on your stories, to be honest. You can post less on your feed and post more on your stories. I think that's a good rate. Sorry, I'm just going to continue a little bit with the presentation and then I'm going to go back into questions just to make sure that we cover everything. But when it comes to Instagram story quizzes, questions, and polls, again, you can do product feedback. You can do an AMA, like for example, the athlete ones. It's just ask me a question, and you can also do a resource introduction. So, for example, one thing that I like to do, and this is me giving it away. I hope you guys won't hate me for this, but I always ask a question related to the resource. So, for example, if we have something with TikTok hooks, I will ask, are you struggling to create TikTok hooks? And then I will, for example, put the link to a webinar talking about TikTok hooks or put a link to a blog post relating to TikTok hooks so they have the resource right away that answers their problem. Right? So yeah, that's kind of with Instagram stories. ideas. I'm just gonna take like two more questions, I guess, and then I can give you guys more about analytics. Um, so our close friends, people are asking like if how we decide. We just have stands, like our stands are basically added to the close friends. So if you're not a stan, I am so sorry. You're not added to the close friends yet, but maybe you can become a stan. That would be really cool. That would be ideal. Um, did I say that Instagram can spam you? Yeah, they can mark you as spam if you post back to back. Yeah, so that's unfortunate, but it does. For B2B companies, how many stories a week do you recommend? I post stories at least every weekday. On weekends, I'm not there, but every weekday, posting stories. I usually post like, at least one and then repost whatever stories that other people are tagging us in. But I think, being active during the week is a good idea. Um, and yeah, there you go. Oh, and I think how do you determine who a stan is? Honestly, that's Alyssa, and unfortunately, she is not here today. Um, so yeah, I can't
I
answer that
can
question
I
very
can
well.
sort of answer it, Kessia, if you'd like.
Thank you.
It's really just our top 1% users of HeyOrca. So social media managers who just like praise our product, who use it every day, who provide feedback, things like that. We bring them into a small community and we use them to ask product questions, to give them gifts for being such great fans of ours, and more. So if you're interested, I can have our community manager like reach out to you and to see if you meet the criteria. We can go from there.
Exactly. Thank you so much for answering that, Jesse. But I'm just going to go over like story analytics that you need to pay attention to. It's a very short section, but still very important. So, when it comes to Instagram stories, it's really important to keep track or at least have KPIs to measure success when it comes to your stories. For example, we love having people who, go to our blog. So, looking at link clicks, for example, is really important as well. You can also look at replies, shares, likes. We love when our community is engaged. So that's also another metric that we look at. Another tip is to keep experimenting with different formats because trends, they change all the time. For example, we had Jesse was the story takeover the other day, and it was pretty successful. So you might see more story takeovers if you want. But yeah, I think experimenting with different formats, I just found out really quickly that people did not like putting in answers themselves and they just liked being able to vote or do a quiz. So, depending on your audience, obviously you will have to keep experimenting, which is really cool. And yeah, and that was the last slide. But I think we can, go over more questions because we still have some time. We actually have a lot of time, to be honest. So maybe we can do that, right? Let's see.
For Haley's, any tips for how to get customers to tag your brand in their stories? I would suggest just asking them. And the other thing
Exactly.
is when they do, share it, because I think that everyone wants to have their Instagram story shared by the brand that they're tagging. So if you have the opportunity to share it, that just encourages more people to promote your brand.
Yeah. So please, guys, tag us if
Yeah.
you're in this webinar. Tag us. We'll repost you. um, I think Trinity was asking, is it worth sharing your post to your story? I personally noticed that when we reshare our post on our stories, we get more visibility on our post. So people, I feel like sometimes people don't get our post on their feed all the time, so putting it on our stories usually helps with engagement and for people to actually be able to see it as well. Uh, any creative ideas for engaging content even when there's not much happening behind the scenes? Yes, I feel like our story takeovers are cool. Like we are a remote company, 100% remote, so we don't see people all the time. So one thing that I love to do is, for example, midweek check-ins, like, hey, what's up? Like a little sliding, like a little slider, and people can let me know like how they're feeling. we like, again, like the story takeovers are really good. Quizzes about whatever industry topic you're in. I'm actually preparing one. Really soon, you guys will have a quiz, so make sure that you follow us so you can participate. Um, but that's also one of them that you can do. I feel like one thing that I loved doing when I was working in beauty as well is fun facts about ingredients or fun facts about whatever it is that if you're in plumbing, like are there fun facts about that? Like what are things that people don't know, or ask them about different plumbing, what do you call it? Like plumbing tools or parts or things like that. Like I feel like it's always really fun when you're able to connect with people. So yeah, I think that's a great way to do that.
I also want to plug that next week we'll have a webinar on how to stay engaging in a boring industry. And I don't know if, Masvita, that you would consider your company a boring industry or not, but we will have a lot of ideas of what you can do on social media to create content.
Yes. And we have some very exciting guests coming because they're within the law industry. So they work for law firms and they have some really cool content. So we're really, really, really excited for you guys to join. So please go ahead and sign up because that has been such a requested topic amongst everyone here. So yeah, we noted that down for sure. Yes. Okay, that's great. I don't think we have any more questions, Jesse, do we?
No, I'm curious if anyone found a new idea in this presentation that they're going to incorporate into their Instagram stories. So add that to the comments while we move on to the next bit.
Right. So I'm going to pick our winner on our stories to see who won. So guys, little drum roll. I feel like next time we do our webinars, we should add like the drum roll sound so that we can use it.
Yeah.
If Instagram will let me click on the stories, please. Let's see. Okay. So hold on. This is me. I'm being the problem. Okay, let's do this. I'm going to close my eyes and randomly pick someone. Okay, so Olivia Fortna, are you here? Olivia, if you're here, please let us know so we can go ahead and pick you as the winner. Hi.
Yay!
Congrats. We'll send you an email after this webinar with your Orca points or Orca coins. Sorry, why am I changing the name already? But yes, congrats on winning. And Jesse, if you can do the honors to pick one of our customers.
Yes, while you were looking for the Instagram winner, I put in all of our customer names, and Haley Dunk, you are the winner of the customer contest. So I will email you probably tomorrow with the results of that. I think, Haley, you've won before, so you are a very lucky person.
Right? Let's see. Yes. Okay, great. Well, congrats to both of you. And thank you, everyone, for coming today. We appreciate it. We love spending this time with you every single week. If it's your first time, feel free to come next week. Feel free to come next week. But yeah, thank you so, so much. And we'll talk to you guys very soon.
And just one more thing before you all go. If you want, and I hope you do, please join our newsletter. You'll get daily tips from our community manager, Alyssa, anything about platforms, about news, trending audio, you name it. Also, you'll be notified in advance about these webinars. So I'll add it again to the chat. And yeah, thank you all for having me. This is my second webinar ever. So appreciate you all.
And next week, Alyssa will be there. So you guys can have your queen back.
Yeah.
See you guys.
Thanks,
Bye.
everyone.